you know, we're just starting. But you sure we got the clue how that this we go. Don't you know, no more art. And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time it hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom, and welcome to Galtopia and the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source in all of the comings and goings of Galtopia. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time coming. Been out the game for a minute, but I'm back in, and hopefully we can get caught up together, we can shake some things up, we can have a couple of laughs, and maybe even make some solid points if we can. First things first is apparently Phil had a great month, meaning July and August, made himself quite a bit of money. Excuse me. It's very practical to say that he's made himself maybe somewhere between $17,000 and $20,000 over the last 2 months, which he was just paid for that. Actually, I think he announced on Tevin's stream earlier today. Today being Today being September 18th, 2018, which is a Tuesday, if I remember correctly. He said that he was actually paid early this month. He was paid on the 13th, which makes sense because it's a shorter month. So it is September, obviously. With that being said, Phil's pretty happy about his money. Apparently, King Tut. We have a much longer video coming at you as it pertains to that individual. He apparently has been coming through with the subs as well as the tips and whatnot, which is interesting because I thought King Tut was taking a hiatus. I thought he was going to be kind of going off into the sunset for a little while. Well, ever since Phil said that, he's been back almost every day, at least to my understanding. So that should be interesting. I wonder how Swag is handling that. Also, in Phil's jubilation, there was some word being thrown out there. Someone told me, messaged me on Twitter, about he would actually consider marrying Kat. It's going to make an honest horse out of... It's going to make an honest woman out of her after all. That's good. That's real good. Some birthdays just went by. Cats and pandas, respectfully. I have a video coming out that will go over that. Late as usual. There's a lot to do, and there's very little time to do it. So hopefully this week works out well for me from a free time standpoint, and we can get caught up, and then we can try to get back into a schedule going into the fall. Okay, enough of that. So before we get into what you're all here for your regularly scheduled programming, I was sent over a video file from an agency that I'm not actually familiar with. I'm just now familiarizing myself with it. The Detractor Investigation Alliance, the DIA. This file, sent to me by a special agent, is called the Pig Roach Files. This, ladies and gentlemen, will be the alpha to hopefully a very long-running series. I've seen the actual video itself. I enjoyed it greatly. And I was able to send it to a couple of other people on Twitter, and I'm glad that they enjoyed it also. So the link to this video in its entirety will be in the down in my description below. Please check it out. We have a new individual entering the arena, and let's have his first video be welcoming. I think that would be good. It's going to be a long road ahead for anybody who's brand new to this. So let's try to start it off right. So let's go ahead and play the trailer, and then we will get back. We will go ahead and start off, I should say, your regularly scheduled programming. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and production. You guys all know the slogan, and this is sponsored by the DIA, the Detractor Investigation Alliance. You guys all know the slogan. Let's watch this individual work.
This is how I play the game!
Now, like I said, when I first saw the trailer, before I actually had a chance to see the video itself, it immediately gave me kind of a bit of a nostalgia from, like a lot of the shows that are on Investigation Discovery, or I think they call it something else now, or I think they call it ID for short now. And like the real stuff, not the dramas, not your CSIs or anything like that. Nothing against those. It's just I'd rather just watch like the factual stuff, to be honest, instead of just something that's made into a drama. And so I like his approach. I like the way this individual has chosen to go with it. And I'm sure as time goes on, it will continue to evolve. I'm very much looking forward to it. And as new episodes come out, I don't know what the time frame is for these. But as the new episodes come out, I'll try to have a video that will more than likely be late. The video will probably be out before I end up getting a chance to promote it. But I'd like to try to promote at least the first couple episodes moving forward, just so people can kind of get an idea of what they're going to be running into. I hope you guys really enjoy it. Like I said, it was a good video. It was a real good video. And I didn't get the chance to hear what James the Lesser thought about it, but I'm anxious to hear his thoughts, as well as the Jackal's Lair and a few others. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Snort Burnell, one of my favorites. Dspgaming. 2 videos, actually. Everything's Fine for now, and Saltiness, which, Phil is an oversalted pig, so of course there's going to be some excess salt there. When in Rome, I guess. And rules are to break. Editing is a lot of work, and never bite the hand that feeds you. I wonder if that's a reference to Tut. I really do. But in any case, let's go ahead and get into the video. And we'll see what we can make out of all of this. As I said earlier, July and August was a very successful campaign, if you will, for Dave. So I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of jubilation. And at the same time, he's not completely out the woods yet, so he's going to want to get them for that extra money, being that, he doesn't have an MCN to protect him anymore. Everything, I would say the bulk of his money is coming from his personal hug box, being Twitch. That's an interesting story in itself, too, because Twitch just changed some of its management recently. And a lot of people are kind of worried that certain people will get cut out for certain reasons, especially if you're someone that goes after the quote-unquote Twitch thoughts and so on and so forth. And given that you can be punished by Twitch while not even being on their platform, also adds a dimension of cuckery, if you will, to the equation. It's going to be interesting to see what people are going to do moving forward. To be honest with you, if you're someone who streams, keep streaming on YouTube. Hold on to your Twitch account for as long as you can, to be honest, and start a Mixer account just in case. To be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with having a backup plan. If not, you're going to end up like Phil, and we all know what that means. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
I like how you're laughing too.
Well, it's funny.
And, you know, everything's going good right now. Everything's been
Now,
going great.
one could interpret that as a love bite, but also being fair. That's more likely how it's gonna look. Instead of it being a bite, it'll be more likely a kick on how Cat's gonna end up getting that house from under Phil, and he's gonna get thrown out on the street. Just kidding. That's probably not gonna happen, but you never know. You never know.
I've been loving all the games I'm playing. Things have been going really positively well on stream. You know, shout out to a few people recently, Infinite, as well as Crazy Dream, and Himanoma this last week, who did a lot of cheering. Tutankhamun was in here gifting a ton of subs, which was much appreciated, and we had a bunch of people tipping as well. It was a very positive week.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now. Really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more. I couldn't ask for anything more. Thank you guys very much. You know, the future's looking good right now. If we can keep this up, everything will be great. And I'm feeling very positive with all these new games coming out in the next, couple
Now,
months.
ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate some of the circumstances and the parameters that have been set here. Phil is aiming for about $10,000 to $12,000 a month off Twitch, in particular. He's not doing too bad, to be honest. He's just greedy. So when you see all of this excitement and all of this enthusiasm, it's because he's tallying up his money at the end of the night, and I would assume the numbers were pretty large. Even though he can't pull nearly what Tevin, praise be almighty, is pulling on YouTube when he streams Phil's still making very, very good money. And his fan base, in a lot of ways, is trying to compensate, if not trying to compete with King Tut in some ways. Now, as I said a couple of videos ago, and I will when we actually have a video in particular that is focused on King Tut, that Swaggins has fallen a little bit. And interestingly enough, at least in my own personal opinion, Swaggins fell early. Swaggins paid for all of the perks and all the benefits and all the authority that he has. He didn't earn any of it, quote unquote. He paid for it. But after he received it, he actually tried to, and I use the term loosely, he tried to actually help shape the community in some way. And I give him some credit for effort. But by then, Phil started to take it, well, Phil took it for granted early, because I think Phil knew what his motives were. And so when he started sending Phil $200-300 at a time, Phil was just like, oh, Swaggins sent a very big cheer, $220. Thank you, Swaggins, I very much appreciate that. And then would go right back on to what he was doing. He wouldn't, after a while, it was almost like he felt it was a burden to address Swaggins, despite the large sums of money that was given to him. And I think one of the reasons was he couldn't, Phil meaning, couldn't get the rest of the fan base, like Golden Colts and some of the other whales there, to compete with Swaggins. Swaggins was just donating too much too quickly. Now, King Tut has come around and done the same thing, did it quicker, it did it in much larger amounts, and Swaggins, I think, purposely couldn't, well, definitely purposely, I wouldn't have thrown that type of money up to match that, couldn't keep up or chose not to. He chose to pick his spots. And then you start getting into the cuckery where Swaggins is like, oh, well, there can be two kings at the top. No, there can't. Not at all. One of you guys stand and the other one falls. Period. It's always been that way. So there can be two kings of the hill. But that's not initially how Swaggins started that off. He started off being upset. He was mad that this guy Tut was coming in and basically taking over everything. Even though, to my particular understanding, and especially as of this moment, I don't think Tut is a mod. I don't think he has any real special perks per se. You know what I mean? Outside of some extras that he might have asked from Phil behind the scenes, which is illegal, by the way. Phil's not allowed to do that, but like I said, we'll address that situation when it comes along. So, what are you going to do? But that's where Phil's good mood comes from. It comes from money, not the game. At the end of the day, if Phil really likes the game, he's going to play it, even if other people don't like it. But when Phil's making a whole lot of money, then he tries to project the illusion that everything is well with the world. All the games are great. All the upcoming games are going to be great. And please just try to keep that energy up, which means just keep giving me more of your mommy and daddy's money. That's all it really means. DSP News.
Are going to be so damn busy with all these new releases that things should be going great, okay? This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. But now I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too. And I want to continue doing it. I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life. I want to keep doing a ton of gameplay streams daily. I want to do on-demand videos. I want to keep this going. It's been so amazing, this ride. I love my job. I love interacting with you guys on a daily basis. So fucking greedy. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
Nope.
I am self-sufficient.
We got a name here that I can't even pronounce or read, and they said, how's that Seattle air, Phil? So basically it's a joke.
How's the gout, Phil?
Oh my god, here's another one. How's the gout, Phil? Another idiot. This is great.
How's that gout?
How's that gout? Who was it? Hold on, now I have to freaking manually mute
How's
everyone.
that Seattle air, Phil?
Now, also, there's a bit of a misconception as it pertains to that Seattle air and its therapeutic attributes. Phil said that it was supposed to help with his back, and I guess you could say it cured his gout. But, ladies and gentlemen, he actually diagnosed himself with the gout while he was out there in Seattle, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, I suppose it only makes sense that the place he received gout magically kept it in check, because I don't think there's an actual cure for gout. But that's neither here nor there. But that's something that he himself started and propagated. So, of course people made fun of it. Why not?
So, I want to play a game, yes.
Alright, you will. Don't worry, you will. I just gotta find out who this idiot is now. Say it again. No, say it again. Say, how's that gout? Go ahead.
How's that Seattle air?
Come on, say it again. I mean, you're so dumb. I know you'll say it again. Say it. Say, how's that gout? Come on.
So with the gout, how's your daughter? With the gout.
He's still saying it. How's the gout? How's the gout? How's the gout? Oh, parent, how's the gout? Give me a cracker. Wow.
Because if you guys aren't aware, and this is how stupid this is, when I first moved here, over 4 years ago, alright, people asked me, how's your back doing? Because I used to have a really bad back injury. It was a severely herniated disc in my lower back to the point where I had numbness and pain and all kinds of stuff. I could barely move around for a year there.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
During my time when I was on YouTube doing stuff, I could barely even move because I was so messed up. And so when I moved out here to Seattle, I don't know what it was. It could have been my lifestyle changes. It could have just been going to a new area. I don't know, but I said, man, I don't know, the air out here is clean or whatever. I don't know what it is, but my back's better. And people, basically the negative people turned it into a meme.
Oh, the Seattle air healed his back.
That's what you said. You said that your back actually magically became stronger out there. I mean, it was almost as if he developed some type of mutant ability and muscles like came up out of his spine to cradle the weaker part of his spine, and now he's just magically cured. Then again, he can't carry 50 pounds upstairs, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, and back in the day, he used to be jacked. Just in case you guys didn't know. So, at his old age, 50 pounds is just a lot. You need a hand cart for stuff like that. My grandmother can still carry 50 pounds without a hand cart. Jesus Christ, that's sad.
Like, they think that's funny. Like, it's so fucking stupid, but they gotta make a dumb meme out of it that doesn't even make any sense, and it isn't funny to an outsider, only to their own circle-jerking group of people. who think that this stupid stuff is funny doesn't make any sense or even, you know, it's just dumb as shit.
Ah, the salty tears. Salty tears.
Just like all the other memes, like the I prefer a penne.
Oh! Easy to eat.
Phil, you should first off, the back thing was a joke. It really was. I think what happened was, and this is just my own personal opinion, he pulled a muscle in his back, and that was it. And in typical bitch Roach fashion, he milked it for everything it was worth. All of a sudden, he couldn't lift anything, so John and Howard had to do it. All of a sudden, he couldn't drive long distances, so Phil and Howard had to do it. All of a sudden, everybody around him had to take care of him, and he was able to milk that back injury for all it was worth. Not to mention the fact that he was doing DSP trizits a couple of days a week and was packing on the pounds quicker than that stuffed turkey that he should have had last Thanksgiving, which he didn't. He did it to himself. He did it complete and totally to himself. I think the back injury was bullshit, and I think he just used the people around him off of pure sympathy. And that's kind of the meme of it all, to be honest. And yet again, he was the one who said, "Oh, I came over here to Seattle, and all of a sudden I'm so much better now." That back injury that he used to complain about, oh, he didn't know if it was football, he didn't know if it was because his backpack was too heavy, which was fucking laughable. Oh, he didn't know if his backpack at school was too heavy. He had all kinds of ridiculous reasons on why his back was thrown out, or whatever the case may be. But the moment he moves to Seattle, everything's all gravy. Every other meme, including the one that was just talked about, it makes him interesting. It's funny. Period. It's funny. He's mad that when he comes up with his own memes, they don't stick. They don't hold. Like that Tevin meme that was misspelled or whatever the case may be. He had a little run with it for, I don't know, a couple of streams, and then it died out because it's not funny. There's nothing to it. You did it because you ran with it because it's all you had. He settled, to be honest with you. So tell me how a man who's supposed to be so entertaining, so creative, everything can be abridged, as he likes to word it, and come off the cuff, and it can just be entertaining and exciting at all given times. Can't even make a meme stick past a week, not without forcing it. A man who took the penne meme and applied it to Lisa Simpson in Simpsons Hit and Run, which came across more creepy and disturbing than funny. A man who's been online for 10 years, hasn't worked a job in at least 8, if not 9, still hasn't figured out how to be himself. You know what I mean? Or find out who he really is. What he wishes is that this was 10 years ago, where all the racist jokes and all the sexist jokes and all that dumb shit can be thrown around, which would only dogpile on him more. And that personal hug box of his would only be able to hold out for so long. He's deplatforming people as we speak. He's already done 3 of them, at least 3 bigger names. Who knows any of the smaller guys he's already kicked off for whatever reason. But he wants to cry about memes. He wants to cry about this dumb shit that within his own cult shouldn't matter anyway. Focus on your little pig congregation, the little roach nest, and keep it moving. But see, he can't. He needs to know about the outside. He needs to know so bad. It's like telling the congregation, okay, you guys are going to come here every day and you're going to support. Don't watch any of the detractor content at all. It's just going to mess you up while he himself watches it, or while he sends a select few out to watch it for him so he can get an idea and gauge what's being said about it. Okay, well, some of you guys can go over there and watch some of the detractor stuff, because let's be honest, you guys don't only have to watch my content, you guys can watch whatever you want. Go ahead, you have a free right to do so as long as you guys come back here. So they go out, they watch that stuff, they find that it's funny, they find that it's entertaining, they find that the communities around there, or the circles around those individuals, are engaging, and then they try to come back over to the Pig Roach cult, and all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to hear anything about that. Oh no, you can't talk about that. You can only talk about me in the chat. I don't want to hear anything about any of that stuff. So how is it that the chat, he can't be entertaining enough or engaging enough to push the chat forward on his own merit, that he has to have the chat basically regulate and make it self-exciting, but if he can't follow anything that's being said, it's useless and you guys are doing it wrong, start over. That's what he propagates. That's what that hug box Twitch is doing over there. And he doesn't even realize that he's cutting himself off at the knees. Because if it's true about all of his different videos being demonetized and so on and so forth, and if this becomes a long-term solution, or sorry, a long-term situation moving forward, you know Phil, he's just going to get lazy and eventually he'll give up on it. Then all he'll have is that hug box. And what happens then? Just saying. The reason why he can't keep Patreon going the way he wants it to is because his Patreon has been associated with his YouTube for so long. Somewhere down the line, he forgot that lesson. He forgot about that fact. It's a bit problematic. He is running a successful business, you know.
And all that stupid shit. It's like humor for 4-year-olds. And that's their intelligence level anyway. But yeah, so this guy thinks he's funny. Referencing a 4.5-year-old meme. Hilarious. You are so pertinent, sir. I salute you for being the Mr. Outdated of the day. Why don't you also go back and, why don't we go back and let's find something even older. Here, let's joke about my time on Blip TV. Only 8 years outdated. Unbelievable, these people.
Today, if you watch my stream...
Well, if you insist, Phil, I was planning on doing it anyway. But, yeah, since if you insist, I will go over the Blip TV situation. To be honest, it's not going to be good for you. And it's not even funny enough to make it into a meme. You basically showed your true self. Even people within your own fan base didn't like it, and you were deplatformed. You weren't even deplatformed, you were just kicked off their platform. You did it to yourself.
Rarely, very rarely, will you ever see me making crude sexual jokes. Very rarely will you hear me referencing like racial humor, unless it's something that's me. Like I'll reference myself, or Italians or something. I'm Italian.
You're not Italian, you're Polish. You need to stop running away from that too, Phil. I said the Polish have a pretty rich history, to be honest with you. Tragic in some ways, but whose history isn't? But you're Polish. You're certainly, the majority of you is Polish, I should say. So you can't run away from that. You don't get to pick and choose what you are. Sadly, he's not the only person who does that.
You're anything, I'll reference myself. But you're very rarely going to see that kind of stuff anymore because people get so sensitive about it, right? But just because I did it 10
very
years
rarely.
ago,
I don't know, man. I don't know how. Excuse me. I don't know how that Nazi chat has been lately. I don't know if you were able to curve stomp that into position. Sorry about that. Terrible reference. But let's be honest. You've let a lot of things go by. Even if you're not saying it, your stream, at least according to the TOS, is an extension of your content. Meaning that you're supposed to be held responsible for what goes on in your chat. One day, oh, you guys, I need to clean the chat up. You guys need to stop with this. You do that Monday. By Thursday, the N-bomb's being dropped all over the place as usual. Not Swaggins. Sidella, or whatever he's calling himself now. I know he was calling himself Obi-Wan Kenobi, like he knows anything about the Force. I mean, his mother's a different story. But, his cousin probably too. But, like he knows anything about the Force. He ended up getting himself kicked off because of harassment, and he threatened Tevin on some silly shit when Tevin wasn't even on the platform anymore, and that shit made it over there to Reddit. And they had a good laugh over that, and then everybody went over to Kiwi Farms and found out what he really looked like and where he lives and all that. That was just silliness all in itself. So that's if you want to look for a hot laugh, go there. And then now I guess he has another name because he can't get his old account back. Whether Phil says it or not, it's still that aura, if you will, of negativity is still around him. He can't escape that. He should be old enough to realize it, but he's not, because he's an idiot, and he's a muppet, and, that's all he knows, and whatnot. He has to go with, everything has to be easy, because if it requires effort, if it fails, it's a reflection of his failure. And that's why he has to go with the easy stuff. That's why he lets the racism go on in his comment section, because in his eyes, even though he knows it's wrong, even though he knows it runs off decent people, it allows him to hold on to who he has. And if you have to go to be honest, if you have to reduce yourself to those levels just to keep the people that you have, maybe, just maybe, some of those people aren't worth keeping. What do I know? Just a dog in a sharp suit. Cute, by the way. Very cute. You don't believe me? Ask Panda. Ask Cat too. Because she knows. Well, she wants to know. If she's lucky, she might get blessed by it. DSP news.
So does it mean that it's bad now? You see what I mean?
Shout out to YOLO Dopper. He cheered. He says, I understand your...
Wait a second. Did that clown just say that what was bad 7 or 8 years ago doesn't mean it's bad now? Oh wow, I didn't know that racism was a thing in 2018. Even though I did just watch this guy's video. I think it's Ideas of Fire and Ice, and he just received his YouTube play button, his silver play button, and his comment section was basically like, "Oh, I didn't know you were black. Congratulations." What? Like, what does that have to say to somebody? And whatnot. And who cares what he sounds like? You like his content, right? Who cares what he looks like? Who cares what he looks like and sounds like? If you like the person's content, just move off of it. But I don't know. Maybe we'll go over that video one day. Because now that I think about it, this guy from The Verge, I think is what it's called, that whole $2,000 PC situation, gaming PC, which was a complete and total debacle. Go to It's a Gundam. I saw his video on it initially. Go over there and watch it. It's a great video by him, but the video itself that he's going over is absolutely horrible. It's obvious that the guy didn't know what he was doing, even though his production and editing was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, despite the train wreck that was in progress. But the comments on Twitter to some of that shit was fucking horrendous. Like, it's, I don't know. That's a conversation for another day, I guess.
Asking me about having kids and everything. What? No. No. The answer is no, YOLO Dopper, and the other answer is mind your own business. How about that?
Is that a summon symbol right there? It might be.
Looks like YOLO Dopper asked another real world question and got shitted on. Okay, they're not going to have kids. Most of us called that from the beginning anyway. Granted, with all due respect, Kat doesn't seem very happy about that. But Phil, I mean, first off, the idiot can barely take care of himself. Do you really see himself taking care of another kid? Another kid. He's a kid himself. 2, you really think he's going to allow somebody else to, 1, take the attention from him, 2, have it better than he did growing up? Because you know how spiteful Phil is. And 3, and most importantly, would you, to allow that individual all of the opportunities to be more successful than him? Do you really think a self-centered, sociopath, greedy, selfish piece of shit like this is man enough to do that? Seriously, you think he would really be able to accomplish any of those 3 things I mentioned? And that's just 3 easy things. We can deep dive into the mind of Phil at another time and date. Excuse me, but you really think he would allow any of that to happen? I didn't think so.
It is. Okay, I don't know how the hell they got a summon symbol there. The Good Samaritan. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser, Phil's a beggar, Phil's a racist, Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile, DSP is a thief, DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
This is how I play the game!
Now, interestingly enough, as it pertains to the situation with having kids and whatnot, it comes down to, in my personal opinion, in closing, before we move on to our next video, that he just can't handle it. There's some people that are just not, they're not built to take care of other people, if that makes sense, right? Like, they're not, they just can't put another person before themselves, right? It can't happen. He's an example of that. He's a very good example of that. Monday Matt in other ways could be similar to that also. It just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't click. And for Phil especially, he still believes, even at this age, that the world revolves around him and only him. And all of you guys are merely just live on his world. You live in it in a lot of ways, to be honest with you. And if he could manipulate you guys like pieces, he would. He's just not built to be a parent. He really isn't. And it would be the worst thing that could ever happen to that child moving forward. Not trying to joke around or anything. I'm being dead ass serious. You know what I mean? It would be the worst thing. It really would. And then given Kat's previous experiences, I should say, as it pertains to her family and so on and so forth, definitely having kids wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for her, in a much more supportive and maybe even loving environment. Phil can't provide either one of those. He really can't. So that's just failure just waiting to happen. It is what it is.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Don't bring in, negative references to detractors.
All right, so just like what I was saying in the last broadcast, but let's just go ahead and continue along. Snort, Burnell, Dspgaming. Rules to break. Editing is a lot of work, and never bite the hand that feeds you. As I said in the previous video that we just went over, Phil talking about, hey, I don't want you guys to participate with these individuals, then backtracking, saying, oh, you can go over there, just don't bring here, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. And how by letting people go out to these detractor channels that they hear so much about, they hear all this ranting and raving from him, all this supposed misinformation and so on and so forth, and when they sit there and actually listen to it and actually get to talk to some people in chat, they realize, or in the comment section, if you will, they come to realize that, you know what, these people aren't that far off. Maybe Phil is the one that's actually wrong. So when they try to start up some dialogue over on Phil's channel, Phil can't have it, and all of a sudden people start getting banned left and right. And then that causes another problem in itself, because even though his viewership is, I don't know, between 350 and 600 maybe on a good day, all of it is artificial anyway. In the fact that between between Tut donating 550 subs, bringing Phil over 1,000, also gave some subs over to Low Tier God. Low Tier God seemed way more generous. He was generous enough to give Low Tier God a couple hundred subs too, and threw some pretty large amounts of cash at him also. And Low Tier God was genuinely, and I think, and probably one of the more humblest times that I've seen out of him, was grateful. He was very grateful for what Tut did for him. whereas DSP just kind of expected it. It was all in the stars. You were gonna give me that money anyway, Tut. So I don't have to sit there and get on my hands and knees and say thank you and all that. You were gonna give it to me anyway. Look at all the quality content that I'm providing, so on and so forth. And in a lot of ways, this is just a theory, but if this is a massive troll by Tut, he's setting Phil up to fail in a way that I haven't seen done. I've seen it done, but I've seen it done to other streamers. What Tut's doing, if it's what I think he's doing, he's gonna set the circumstances up to where Phil becomes almost solely dependent on him, because no one can match what Tut's throwing out there currently. So either A, they have to be able to match him as a whole, or they slowly but surely just kind of drift off. And that kind of screws Phil up, because on one hand, Phil wants all the money and all the subs and all that Tut can give him. At the same time, he doesn't want his core cult, if you will, to get lazy or to become despondent, if you will, and not give him money at all. He wants it all at the end of the day. And the last thing he needs is one guy supplementing him with everything, and everybody else just feels the need not to. It's a double-edged sword for Phil, because it's a large amount of money that he'll get quicker than he would ever get otherwise. But at the same time, he still wants what the rest of the fan base can provide him. They need to pay what they owe, if you will. And if he ends up depending on Tut solely, he's screwed, because there's no way anybody in his fan base will be able to make up the difference. And even though Phil wouldn't need the money, and he wouldn't need that crazy amount, he mentally in his head, similar to YouTube, would be expecting to have so much money come in each month or each 2 months, or if you will, and he'll never want to give that up mentally. So it's kind of like what we saw earlier on, where Twitch is doing great, YouTube isn't doing so well, so you guys on YouTube need to step the fuck up, or if not, I'm just not going to put videos over here anymore. And they let him, to be honest with you. His fan base let that happen, which was one of the more surprising things that happened in 2018, to be honest. I'm absolutely stunned by that, because in a lot of ways, not in a lot of ways, but he basically split his fan base in half. North Galtopia and South Galtopia. And South Galtopia, which is YouTube, North Galtopia, which is Twitch, YouTube isn't holding up its end of the bargain. You guys need to step your shit up, or if not, it's not going to be here. You guys aren't appreciating the content. Because if you were, you would be contributing. You'd be watching the videos, you'd be clicking the ads, you'd be going over to my Patreon and donating and trying to go over the monthly goals, and that's not happening. Not my words, those are his. DSP News.
Negative memes about myself or other streamers, none of that is allowed. It's all listed, outlined in the rules. But please, let's just have a chill, fun experience. We all hang out, watch me playing games, sharing that live experience, joking about it, having fun, casual atmosphere. That's what we want here, okay? No drama, basically. All right? Very nice.
And Mocking Jaybird says the following. I'm new to your streams. I really enjoy them. I'm not sure why you get so much hate. Well, the thing is, the hate group against me is such a fucking rabbit hole of just stupid shit.
Why am I toxic?
That an actual intelligent, logical person would never fall into that and believe any of it. The problem is the people that like that shit are the same people who are watching the drama videos on everyone else, the same people who made TMZ a multi-million-dollar business. These are people who, they just want to believe in negative shit and drama for the sake of it. They're basically immature people, and they love bringing down others,
That's like me, right? That's like me.
And I'm sure they all have various reasons why. Some of them legitimately don't like me. Some of them just like bringing down others because it makes them feel better about themselves. Some of them are just nuts. But, there's all various reasons.
You fall under all three of those categories, because at one time or another, you did the exact same thing. Under all three reasons, to be honest. When Phil was on top, and he was, because he's obviously far beyond his peak, or his expiration date, if you will. When he was at his best, if you will, he took shots at just about everybody. And when he started to get into a decline, he started shitting on people like PewDiePie and Markiplier and some of these guys here because they came into his lane, if you will, and they did it better. And when he tried to go the edited route, he couldn't make it happen. Now, did he ever try to go with the fake reactions or whatnot? I think he's almost always done that at some time or another. It may have not been as exaggerated as a PewDiePie or a Markiplier, to be honest, but he's done it. And it didn't work. It didn't hold. And at the end of the day, he had shitted it up, not only amongst the fan base, but amongst other YouTubers that he didn't have a chance to do anything else. He screwed himself over, to be honest. He's taking shots at developers. He's threatened to punch journalists. He's accused female YouTubers of being of being gangbanged. He's done all those things, and he's quick to forget. But if you bring it up, though, you're just a detractor. That was a different time, dude. I was just joking, dude. Why are you taking everything so seriously? It was just a joke. What these guys are doing are not a joke. He's threatened to go overseas and possibly do something to an individual. He threatened to let somebody's IP information get out there. So, how innocent is he? Anything that's ever happened to him, to at least some degree, he's propagated on somebody else at one time or another. It just came full circle. I mean, it's kind of like, you get smacked and then you got smacked back. Or you smacked and then you got smacked back, I should say. It was tit for tat. And for some reason, he felt like he was above all that and he should be able to say his piece and then walk away. And no one else should say anything else. And that's just not how the world works, let alone the internet.
Is that most of the stuff they say may be based on a small nugget of truth, but is grossly over-exaggerated. You'll come by a stream and watch me play a game and say, I just watched a 4 or 5 hour stream of Phil and I didn't see any drama, I didn't see any kind of controversy. Yeah, he died a bunch in the game and raged a little bit, but outside of that, it was actually a fun, chill stream. A lot of people had fun. What's the big deal? And that's what most people say. But then you'll have the assholes who will go and spam negative stuff about me everywhere. Just crazy, insane stuff that's not even true. I still get people saying crazy stuff from my past. I'm a racist, I'm a pedophile, I'm this. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. You think I'm the villain? Go fuck yourself.
Do you have any actual empirical proof? Oh, here's a one out of context joke from a video from 2009. Like, what?
That doesn't mean you delete the past.
But people believe it because they want to. Like, there's a certain kind of person that wants to believe bad stuff because it makes them feel good about themselves, that there'd be such ludicrous, ridiculously bad, dramatic things out there. I mean, why do you think reality TV even exists? The whole genre of reality TV is based on people behaving badly and people loving to watch that stupid shit, okay? I don't play that crap. I don't. I ignore it.
I know you're lying.
I'm fully aware that there must be people out there saying crazy shit about me right now. I don't give a fuck. I'm just here to play games and have fun every day. That's all I care about. So, Mocking Jaybird, you're actually not the first person who's come by and said stuff like this. Most people who do come by and legitimately watch the streams of the content end up liking it, But the problem is a lot of people don't give it a shot. A lot of people will just hear a bunch of negative nonsense about me and say, well, that guy sounds like crap. I'm not going to watch his stuff. I'm just going to make fun of him and join in these memes. And, people who steal his content to make out of it.
But that's not true. But if people steal your content, right, and they present it as, oh, look what Phil did here. Look at what Phil said here. And they're like, Jesus Christ, why would he say something stupid like that? Then you screwed yourself. So if all these detractors out here are supposedly stealing your content, and all these people who you think would actually have given you a shot end up seeing that in your own words, if not you on screen yourself, you screwed yourself over. They didn't do it. Oh, they weren't supposed to present it. Oh, okay, they didn't lie about me in it, but they made videos about it and they presented it and they blew it up. They didn't over exaggerate. They didn't lie. They just made it more public and more accessible for everybody else, and that's why I'm not popular. Maybe you shouldn't have done it. Maybe you shouldn't have said it. Maybe you should have owned up and said you were sorry. You ever think about that? Personal accountability is a factor in this equation. At least I thought. I could be wrong.
and slanderous videos that don't actually represent what I do on a daily basis, right?
I've become a meme on the internet that it's fun to make fun of Phil. Even though it's not true, it's fun to make fun of him. I'm hypocritical. Very, very, very hypocritical.
And again, that's another big problem with YouTube, is that YouTube propagates and allows that crap, okay? It promotes it. It will promote a negative, defamatory, or slanderous video of me over my own content on their own website. That's why that business is falling apart and failing, because they've turned their website into automated drama and garbage, and no one has legitimate content anymore, okay? So that's why I like being on Twitch. Twitch doesn't put up with that shit. Why would I go back to Twitch, where Twitch TV is literally a business model
Based off of begging. Because the bottom line is Twitch is a bad business. Twitch is not a good place to put out quality content. It's not. You are constantly nagged to advertise and or
Now, that right there is an interesting tidbit right here. So this right here was originally when Phil left Twitch the first time around, and he had all this negativity to talk about, all this negative shit to say about it or whatever. Okay, I remember the first time I showed this to Asian GTG, and I was like, yo, you need to watch this because this is what he thinks about Twitch. And he was like, he didn't really say this. Of course he did. You're watching it. Of course he said this. And he's like, and then he ended up going back. What choice did he have? And he's just going to act like nothing ever happened. That's what he does. That's what he does. Phil talks out of his ass in the moment, and then he'll forget about it later when he has to run to it. He's done that shit for Patreon. He's done it for Twitch. He's done it for a lot of things. He'll continue to do it for a lot of things, which is what makes him a Muppet, which is why people clown him. And he can't escape it. And he knows he can't escape it. And so one minute he'll be like, oh, I don't care what they say, this, that, and the third, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect me, yada, yada, yada. But then he'll go on like a 20-minute rant about it. And then the next day, he'll be like, I wish these guys would just give me a break, and when's enough, and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada. Enough isn't going to be enough until you learn your lesson. And you haven't learned how to fucking conduct yourself well. You won't own up to anything, you won't be honest about anything, and you won't try to better yourself or your situation. You want to be carried, kicking and screaming, to wherever your next location is, without a bit of effort. Of course people are going to shit on you for that. But in Phil's mind, everybody's attacking him, and he doesn't understand why, and they're just idiots. But he's not. But then behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, he's getting videos flagged. He's trying to get videos taken down. He's trying to get channels taken down. And there's a history of him doing that. But he didn't do anything wrong. Whatever.
Subs or product so that you can make money, and they'll make money, they get profit from that, and then you get profit from that. They don't care about actual games, they don't care about what you put on your stream, as long as this is coming into them.
People try to do that shit on Twitch to me. Twitch puts the hammer down and says, nope, sorry, we're not putting up with this kiddie drama shit. We want a website with quality content creators, not people stealing content to make slanderous shit. Get the hell out of here.
Twitch loves me and my streams. Twitch is the future.
Now, here's the thing about that. People are getting kicked off of Twitch almost every day for what's turning out to be now some type of discrepancy within the automated system. There is an investigation going on for favoritism. There's all kinds of nonsense that's going on at that little hug box. There's all kinds of problems, and people have been talking about this way before myself, and people will continue to do so. There are real issues going on over there, and if the fuckery don't stop, then it's gonna fail. Pure and simple. And so Phil is sitting there holding his hat on this platform that isn't dying out or anything, not necessarily, but it's losing creators, it's losing content creators, it's losing streamers, and these are people with much larger followings than Phil. You know, Phil has his little 1,000+ subs. I'm talking about people who are sitting there getting banned off the site, permabanned, who have 25,000, 35,000, 40,000 people. And I think Tevin was saying, I don't know if that's really the case, but Tevin was saying that when you get banned off Twitch, all that money that comes from subs and all that shit, they don't pay you out for that, and they don't refund that back to your subscribers unless they go through the process of getting it. So basically, Twitch just runs away with the cash, which is convenient on their part, isn't it? So, and like I said, I'm sure there's an appeal process that you can go through for that, but at least the streamer itself, he or she is not going to get the cash. The money's gone. So Phil can sit there and talk all his nonsense all he wants about how Twitch is great, this, that, and the third, but in his eyes, because Phil's not stupid, he's dumb, but he's not stupid. He knows that some of these bigger guys are getting cut down at the waist, by the knees, if you will. So he thinks, oh, well, that's just going to thin out the herd, and finally I'll be able to move up. But that's not happening. He's got all this artificial growth going on over there that in truth stifles all of that. He would need an infusion of a couple of thousand people a week consistently for months on end, and Phil's not going to do that. Phil can't do that, because if he could, he would have done it by now. So sooner than later, they're going to have to cut ties with him too. So if he thinks that little legacy account that he has over there, it's not a legacy, but because of how long he's had it, if he thinks that's enough to hold him there, he's wrong. He's sadly mistaken. There are people over there that were bringing in, hundreds of thousands of dollars into Twitch, and they were getting cut down. Why would they hold on to Phil if he's just really a waste of space? A waste of a round, if you will. Think about that. DSP News.
I love Twitch. I don't kiss ass. You guys know that. I do not kiss ass. I am not an ass kisser. I'm not Mr. PG on stream. I'm not the family-friendly guy. I'm an honest guy. That's how I've always made my living. That's how I got popular to begin with. You know what I mean?
So, there you go. There's your answer, Mocking Jaybird. Thank you for the cheer, and I hope you enjoy the streams. I hope that you hang out and you have fun. You realize that the streams are something of your enjoyment. And if not, you know what? At least you came by, you gave it a shot, and you know for yourself, right? At least you gave it a fair shot versus all of those thousands of people who just want to laugh at a fucking defamatory meme instead of actually giving it a look for themselves,
Intelligence versus, immaturity. That was good.
So let's get this straight for a minute. So a meme bothers him. Hasn't he said that, all I want to do is stream, put my videos up, hang out with my girl, and go to sleep, and then be right back at it to play the games the next morning? If that's the case, when does he have all this time for this negativity? And as it pertains to on stream, he's supposed to be paying attention to what's going on that television, not in that chat, unless that's what he has mods for. But see, that's the problem though. Phil depends, in my personal opinion, as he's as reliant on that chat as he is financially on the people who give him money. That chat validates him in real time. And it's the one thing that he really can't control outside of banning people. But he knows people will just come back. It's not like the YouTube comment section that this coward sat there and just let go of because he wasn't thick-skinned enough to take some criticism. With the chat though, the chat is his only real lifeline. If any of you guys have seen the Mr. Huffstuffs video with him rocking back and forth all manically and shit, I'll put that link in that description. I'll put the link to that video in the description. We'll go over that one day and you can see it for yourself. It looks disturbing. And it kind of explains in a lot of ways, if you guys have never listened to one of his pre-streams before, it kind of makes sense. Now, when you see him doing all this swaying and all this back and forth rocking and all that, it kind of makes sense why he sounds the way he sounds in these pre-streams. It also, in a lot of ways, might explain why he wants the pre-streams to be longer and longer and longer. Because in truth, he doesn't want to play most of these games. If he could sit there and just talk and just listen and go back and forth with the chat, he would. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, outside of Kat, and I doubt that she is uninterested or just too tired to listen to his bullshit and whining anyway, who else is he going to talk to? The man doesn't have any friends. He doesn't talk to his family unless he needs something. He has nobody. So what is he going to do? He's going to continue to talk to some of these guys in his chat. He doesn't respect them. They're merely a means to an end. And any people that he had a real connection with that's part of the pig cult, they're either gone or or he doesn't even trust them enough anymore. He's in a prison of his own making. Constructed quite well. For failure, anyway. Which, as you know, that's Phil's signature scent. Gout for pig. Failure. Fall 2018. Pick it up where all gout is sold. We need to come up with a store for that, by the way. A virtual store, of course. What else does the man really have? He can sit there and try to give you the illusion of happiness and success, and he's still making it through because he's limping along. But that's not the case. At the end of the day, right? Let me give you a quick analogy, and then we'll continue to move forward.
And then one man's journey cheered 25 bits and actually asked an interesting question. Here's what he asked. He says, Phil, with all the automation that's going on in the workplace.
The editor again. All right, so let me throw you guys a quick scheme. Phil looks at himself as a marathon runner. And his first couple years was kind of rocky. Then he won some pretty big races. And now the body just can't hold up. You know, there are younger and younger competitors. There are people who learn the basics. They learn how to keep their stride. They learn how to breathe properly. They learn how to do all these things that Phil didn't want to do because he had so much natural talent, at least what he thought. He was okay and he could continue to push forward. What he didn't realize is he was putting all this extra strain on himself that ended up catching up to him later on down the line. So now, Phil is that one marathon runner. Knees are bad, breathing's off, he has back problems, he's basically aching all over, but he keeps competing because it's all he's known for. He's not known for anything else. He's only known for racing. And so he keeps up with it. He keeps doing it. And now he's getting to those years where he's got a sponsor that's willing to be there for the long haul with him. Whether he wins or loses, they're going to pay him no matter what. And he feels that, it doesn't matter if out of 100 races a year, I lose all of them. It's as long as I still cross that finish line, I'm still a winner. Now, most people would take that as, okay, it's a moral win. Cool. Whatever. But for Phil, he'll flip that into, this proves that I'm still great because others would have quit at this point. People would have given it up at this point, but not me. I still believe I have that one last race, I still have that one last win in me. I can still make it work. I can still make it happen. I just need that opportunity. It'll be that one day or that 1 month that I'll be fully healthy and I'll be stronger than everybody else, that I'll make it through, because as long as I'm willing to endure, I can win. The reality of that is you're not. You're not fooling anybody but yourself. And because of that, in a lot of ways, as with that imaginary runner scheme that I put up there, people can take advantage of you. People can play off of you for that. So sure, he'll get some sponsors who want to throw some money at him, and they'll throw shirts on him, they'll throw him in commercials, this, that, and the third, and whatnot, because he is a bit of a story. He has a story to tell, if you will. He's a character. He doesn't have character, but he is a character. And it can be exploited. If you look at all the sponsor deals over the last year or so, it proves that. It proves it. When people see how incompetent you are and see how vulnerable you are at times, then there's always going to be someone who wants to take advantage of that. There's always someone who wants to play off of that. And that's what happened. Phil's a good mark. He's one of the best marks, to be honest with you, because he thinks he's so damn smart. And he thinks he's better than everybody else. And that's perfect, because it's easy to feed into that ego. It's easy to make him believe that you'll give him everything that he could ever want. That he's in control. Similar to that Kotabi and that whole situation over there with the honey dicking that he took for the MCN shit. Same concept. It's easier to manipulate the person who believes they're holding all of the good cards. It's easier. It's easy. It's easiest to sit there and take advantage of someone who believes they're the smartest person in the room. If you believe that you're superior to everybody else, you're the easiest one to be manipulated. It's just human nature. It's just the way it is. A good example of that is people who get hypnotized, right? Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have ever gone to like one of those like shows for that, but I've seen people go up there and be like, yeah, you guys can't hypnotize me. I'm too smart for that. I'm too this, that, and the third. I won't fall for it. They're the first ones to go down. And they're the first ones that look like an idiot. The magician almost purposely makes them do just degrading shit because they believe they were superior. You know, like swimming on the ground and whatnot, like they were a sea snake, or clucking like chickens. I've seen grown men do just the most absolute humiliating shit under hypnosis that I know I never wanted to be hypnotized. Fuck the bullshit. Just no. And then when they come out, everybody's laughing and they're thinking, "Oh yeah, see, I told you couldn't hypnotize me." And the guy and almost every magician I've seen do that to someone has said, "You know what? You're right, buddy. You're right. The last 3 minutes that you can't account for, I couldn't hypnotize you. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead and take a seat, man. Give this guy a round of applause." And then when they see it back later, I've seen people break down. Not like break down and crying and all that bullshit. I've seen a couple people cry, but that's ego. But I've seen people being like, "Oh my God." And it hurts from a mental, well, maybe not mentally, but from like, I guess from like a pride standpoint. You know what I mean? It hurts you to think that you were vulnerable and there was nothing you could do about it. But they put themselves in that situation. And that's what's satisfying, not just to the magician, but to the crowd. Phil's just another example of that. His laziness, his attitude of superiority. He's impotent. He's a child. He can be dragged along in any which way, which is what makes him dangerous, because he's a kid leading other kids. He has a whole generation of people who are coming up under him believing this is how the world works. And that's why assholes like me call him out. That's why people laugh at his failures. If no one wants to take him down because I would hope, you're waiting to see him fall himself. It'll be much more satisfying at that point. Am I saying that you should wish for his downfall? No. Am I saying that be ready for it to happen? Yes. I say this with every fiber of it. He will fall. He has almost impeccable luck. But everybody's luck runs out. And I don't want to hear the whole thing about, oh, GTG, that's fucked up, man. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Let's put this into perspective for you for just a minute. One, if he misses a house payment, fuck that. If he misses a couple of house payments, he won't get kicked out right away. Two, he should downsize now while he can, which is what he'll end up doing anyway, if he does if he does lose that house. 3, he can move his ass across country like he should have done. He has, well, the condo is basically shot, but he has his parents' home. And guess what? Like all parents, or like most parents anyway, I guess, they'll take him back. What decent parent wouldn't? There's a lot of shitty parents out there. So my parents would definitely take me back. But they'll take him back. I'm sure all of your parents would take you back too if you were in a down and out situation. I don't want to hear shit about, oh, he'd be destitute, oh, he'd be on the street. I don't want to hear none of that. Okay? You save that brain dead dumb shit for the livestock over there in his community. I don't want to hear that shit. That's not reasonable. That's not reasonable. Okay? TSP News.
In the next 20 years, there's going to be massive job losses. The concept of work itself will have to change. Do you think that being a content creator shields you from automation in the workplace? Well, that's an interesting question. What you really got to do to answer that question is you got to look at the kind of jobs that are being automated. All right? What kind of jobs are being automated? Let's take a look. Manufacturing, right? Factory-style jobs where there's a lot of repetition and a lot of what they would be considered unskilled work. This isn't work that you have to go to an academy or a university, or you don't have to have a higher education to do that work. It's just literally grunt work, repetitive grunt work. Now, you're talking about being a content creator on the internet, okay? Take a look at content creation. Look at what I've done for 10 years.
He was the guy that got
Okay,
caught
he just
masturbating.
said, excuse me, he just said repetitive grunt work. What, if that's the case, Phil, what you do is repetitive grunt work too. It's the same mundane bullshit day in, day out. And it's really of your own design because you're not willing to push yourself. You're not willing to do anything different. You're not willing to try anything different. You want the same lazy, no effort, low ambition, high payout routine. That's what you do. And you do it day in, day out. Literally, a machine could do what you do. Matter of fact, there is not even a machine, there's a program that can do what you do. Because they do it now. That's how cheaters used to go through speed runs. For example, it's not getting easier and easier because there are discrepancies when it comes to speedrunning. But there are people who have developed gaming programs, right? For example, and what they do is they basically feed the program an algorithm that is based off of the computer's AI. So essentially, they basically just react to each other in real time. It's basically a computer playing a computer. That's where we're at. So, in truth, your job has already been outsourced. Because you have no commentary. You don't have anything to add to the gaming experience. You playing the game is almost irrelevant. Because really, any time that Phil plays a game, we just want to see him fail. That's all really anybody ever expects out of him. So now you need commentary. You need something to carry the day. You need something to make up for your failure. And you don't have it. Because for you, Phil, it has to be lowbrow. It has to be insulting. Because that's what you find to be funny. And that's fine. The problem is, it's not really that funny. It kind of makes you look like just some bitter old man who hates everybody who isn't him. It makes you look like someone who had all these opportunities and passed them up because you thought you were hot shit. And you thought that you were better than everybody else. You thought you were on top of the food chain, when in actuality, you were still just a guppy in what was a very, very, very large body of water. You weren't even fully developed yet. You were still a squirt. And you never, and I mean that, that's a double meaning there. You were still a squirt and you didn't even realize it. Completely unevolved to the world around you. Completely unaware of yourself and what you were doing. Just because you were there at the beginning doesn't mean that you had any rights to be there towards the end. You talk about, oh, after X amount of years, I'm still here while all these other people aren't. Well, maybe all those other people moved on to bigger and better things. Maybe all those other people were like, you know what? There's something a little bit more fulfilling in my life than sitting on my ass and playing video games day in, day out. And they went on and had bigger and better opportunities. They're not sitting on their ass and saying, you know what, guys, I'm really nervous that my bills are gonna overdraw my account, man. I'm really nervous, and I would really appreciate if you guys could tip me right away, because those tips go right into my account, and then I can transfer them over to my checking account so none of my bills go over. And repeat that phrase to me, Phil, for a week or two straight. Can someone point out the success at all in that? How much is your dignity worth, ladies and gentlemen? Now, let me make this clear, because someone asked me this on Twitter. Do I have a problem with people having a Patreon, being donated, taking donations, having ads on their videos and whatnot? No, why would I? Having ads on your videos that should be mandatory, to be honest with you. You put time into your video. Get paid for it. If people want to, as for donations, if people want to donate to you for you to continue to produce a product, then collect that money and just come through on the product. If people want to contribute to your Patreon to continue to put yourself in a better position, which in turn will keep you in a better mindset, which in turn will put you in a position to put out a better product, who could have fault with that? None of that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense to hate on any of those things. Now, here's my question to you. Now that I've answered your question, now it's time to answer mine. Does Phil do any of those things? I'll see you in the comment section or on Twitter.
In front of children.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him? Is he the
Yes.
one that caught it, Matt?
Yes!
Really?
That's right, I'm a huge pervert, guys. That's all I do. I just masturbate constantly in front of children.
But
on
I've seen so much-
purpose. I got completely exposed.
First of all, how different this job has become. When I started off being a content creator, I was just someone who sat in front of a TV with a camera. Wasn't even an HD widescreen camera, so I had to have it crooked, pointed at my television to record my HD TV, doing on-the-fly, irreverent commentary over games. After a while, it got more serious, where I bought better equipment, HD equipment, so I would have better quality visuals, and I played more and more games, and it went from just singular videos of random gameplay clips into full playthroughs. Then it evolved into doing detailed reviews and edited style video series for YouTube. Then over the years, it evolved to being direct capture and live streaming integration. And now, here we are so many years later, now I'm primarily just doing the streams and doing interactive streams rather than worrying about the YouTube shit, right? So that being said, just what I've done in the last...
This is after he held YouTube hostage for those who couldn't go to Twitch because, their internet's not good enough or whatever the case may be. Those people who couldn't go over there and give up their parents' hard-earned money on Twitch, you guys had to start clicking those ads on YouTube and had to give that money to Patreon. If not, this whole thing goes away and everything goes over there on Twitch. And yes, he had the nerve to do that. Well, he threatened to do that, I should say.
Years has evolved and changed so much. That's number one, a reason why automation would never happen, okay? Number two, the reason that I think that a lot of people check me out is not because I am, for example, a high-level tournament player. I don't have a high skill level in most of the games that I play.
People are watching because they like my personality, negative, toxic behavior on Twitch. And I use that negativity, I use that toxicity to fuel me, right? They like how I react to video games when I play them. They like interacting with me on a daily basis and hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different thing. It's not like, oh, we're just going to watch to see the top player play. Then you could get a robot and design the robot to play the game at a high level, right? What's that robot that plays chess and no human can beat it or whatever? You see what I mean? But that's different than having someone who is someone that you tune into because you enjoy their personality or you enjoy just talking with them and hanging out with them and then seeing their reactions to games, laughing at their fails, reveling in the silly moments that happen, glitches and stuff. We have that stuff all the time. And a robot's not going to find that stuff. In 2016, I accidentally streamed.
Okay. Okay. So here's the thing, and I've already addressed this, so I'll try to make this quick. He doesn't have the type of environment that produces anything exciting or engaging. It's really just the fails. It's really just the lulls, if you will. There's really nothing else. Or, to be honest, him going off on those rants when he falls for like that clickbait type cheers, and he ends up reading like these paragraph of questions for 25 cents, and you hear him getting more and more upset when he's answering those questions. Outside of that, there isn't really much there. And he knows that. I mean, if you're on Twitter now, you'll see it that people are sitting there cracking jokes on him about him falling asleep through playthroughs, especially on the late night stream, or the evening stream, I should say, which is one of the reasons why he needs to stop doing it. He needs to stream earlier, and he needs to end it at probably like, I don't know, if I was Phil, he should start streaming at like 9 or 10 o'clock, and I'd say pack it up at like 5. Excuse me. We'll say 10. So 10 to 6. And just pack it up for the day. It's going to be din time by then anyway. And then he puts the videos up. He watches some wrestling and shit, because obviously he's not going to get to do any wrestling with Kat. Drink some gin and fall asleep on the couch. End of story. He might as well do that. He thinks his evening stream means anything. I've watched streams from Tevin, or through Tevin, I should say, praise be almighty, where Phil had 200 people and nobody was giving up any money because there was no reason to. And to be honest, that was a waste of time. That 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours at night, whatever it was, he could have used that doing something else, something productive. Instead of sitting there complaining about the viewership's low and no one's contributing, and he could have been doing something else. Like, I don't know, maybe working on an edited video that he says he doesn't have any time for because it takes away from streaming. But if the streams are shit, then who cares? What are you really losing? See what I'm saying? So, I mean, but that's a personal choice, I guess.
Myself masturbating. An automated system is not going to do that kind of experience for you. You see what I mean?
If you want to be honest here, the honest answer is no. I don't feel that any kind of automation could ever become me or do what I do. Yes, could you have a robot do live streaming of games? Yes. Would the robot have any personality and or have any kind of interesting thing, like I can put out on a daily basis? No, you need a human to do that, okay? Because people tune in for the human aspect of my streams.
What? What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
Now, as it pertains to the human aspect of it, as he's saying there, I mean, he's a strong representation of man's failure. He kind of shows, I think Phil, in a lot of ways, I'm not sure if Argent has said this at one time or another. I feel like he has. But Phil kind of represents all the failures of the modern day adult. He's someone who, whether it's of his own fault or of that of his parents, never really learned how to do anything for himself. And the first opportunity that was presented to him to get out of it, to get out of maybe the harder work and doing something easy and something quick with a satisfying payoff, he went with it. Now keep in mind, it's in human nature to some degree for some people to, if you can make a quick buck off something, then most people will go with it, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else. You know what I'm saying? As long as it doesn't put anybody else at a disadvantage. For Phil, that's not the case. For Dave, he'll take the money no matter who it hurts. Even if it hurts himself, he'll do it because he has the instant gratification. The thing is by kind of going through the Dave lore, he's been like that since he was a kid. It's something that he never learned how to break. His parents never curved it, And that's why he is where he is now. And he can't do anything about it. He can't get around it. He can't escape it. He doesn't know how. And even if he could, why would he give it up? Because he's been getting away with it for so long. G Money said that on the on a podcast a while ago. He said it on a podcast a while ago. The first time, during that Christmas stream last year, when he was catching those big donations, he looked at all these people and he was like, "You guys are absolute idiots. This is it. I've hit the jackpot." When all of those people were throwing hundreds of dollars at him. And he was like, thank you. And he was, like the same thing with the Thanksgiving stream in a lot of ways, where he was literally trying to get off stream and people were still throwing 25, 50, $100 at him. He looked at it as, I have the biggest bunch of idiots around me ever. And I never need to give this up. And I won't. I'm going to drain these people for everything that they're worth. Because to Phil, human decency and human generosity is a weakness. That's why he doesn't do it. He'll ask for it. He'll ask for mercy. He'll ask for quarter, but he won't give it because he looks at it as a weakness. He doesn't look at it as a weakness to ask for it, though. To give it, though, seems like a weakness. Yet again, the reason why he doesn't do it. Which is a very odd way of looking at the world, but that's Phil for you. That's why so many people basically, go over his life with a fine-tuned comb. Because it's just amazing to see him do the shit that he does. And then the thought process behind it is almost insanity. That no rational individual would do this and be okay with it. It's unbelievable in a lot of ways. But that's what he is. That's all he'll ever will be. He knows nothing else. Hard work is a delusion to him. It's stupid. Why would he? Why would you get up every morning and break your back doing something that, whether you like it or not, or go to a job where you have to hear your boss screaming at you, this, that, and the third over dumb shit and so on and so forth? Why would you want any of that when, if you look at what Phil has, he makes his own schedule. He wakes up when he wants. He drinks himself to sleep whenever he wants. And if you think I'm joking about that, I'm not. I guarantee you that's how he gets himself to sleep. Because how else can he deal with the stress? That's what the weak do. They drink. They go to some type of substance. Because you can't deal with the reality. And Phil's reality is failure. Oh, by all means, ladies and gentlemen, let me not skew words on that. Failure is his reality. And hitting that gin bottle doesn't do anything but justify it. All it does is intensify it. And that's why he goes through the rants on Twitter. The more he drinks, the more he sees the end of that cup, or the bottom of that cup, if you will, he sees his failure. He sees it clear as day. And it pisses him off even more. He makes his own schedule. He gets up whenever he wants. He has a handmaid at his beck and call. And he suckers people into giving him money. But he's not successful. He doesn't have the accolades that other people have. He doesn't have the love that other people have. Which is, it's not necessarily similar to Keemstar, because Keemstar is just, he's a hell of a businessman and no one can deny that. When you can make other people millionaires, you're at the top of the heap. And that's what Keemstar is. The thing is about Keemstar, in my own personal opinion, is he wants to be loved by people. He's revered by a lot of people, but he wants to be loved, though. He doesn't want people to look at him and be like, oh shit, it's Keemstar. It's people like, oh hey, it's Keemstar. He wants that. He wants it. I'm not saying he wants it desperately, but he definitely wants that. And I think over the years he's been able to get it despite his history. Phil wants the same thing. First off, Phil wants the respect, and he doesn't have that. Phil wants to be revered. Tell me what's intimidating about him first, and then we'll talk. And more importantly, he wants to be loved. And he wants it more than anything. And I'm not talking about by a girlfriend or a soulmate. Psh, that's petty. He can pay for that. Not to imply that he has. But he wants the love of the people. When Phil Burnell's name comes up, he wants people to have the same admiration for him as they have for a Rad Brad or a Maximilian. Somebody like that, a PewDiePie, a Markiplier. He wants that. He wants people to look at him and actually legitimately care. And he knows he doesn't have that. But see, that right there requires long-term thinking, and he's not willing to do that. That requires hard work. He's not willing to do that. And these are the downfalls of him as not just as an individual, not just as a person, but as a man in general. He's one of the greatest failures that has ever been produced. He's not the greatest, but he's one of them. And he can never escape that. At the end of, long after all of us are gone, people will still laugh at him. And he knows it. He can't hide it. He can't erase it. There's just too much of it out there. He is what he is. And he knows he can't change it. People like Keemstar, people like some of these other guys can. But not Phil. Phil Burnell will always be a Muppet. He will always be a failure of the gaming community. He will always be a joke and a laughingstock of the FGC. And that's all he'll ever be. The only people that will ever really give a shit about Phil is his parents. And he knows it. He knows deep down he knows it. So, if anybody wants to tell me that Cat really loves him, you're more than welcome to. I still think it's of convenience. I still think it's a compromise. It is what it is. That's just my own personal opinion. As I produce more proof, then we can talk about it more. DSP News.
Just for high quality gameplay, because most of the time I'm not putting out high quality gameplay. I mean, how many times did I die in the tutorial of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but it was friggin' funny, right? I think that's the point here. So, no, I'm not worried about automation. However, the flip side of this is, what if all the businesses that have to do with content creation become automated? We've already seen the horrors of YouTube going from a website where it was actually run by humans to a website that's mostly automated. And we've seen the horrendous, terrible trends that have happened. Advertisements being divvied out on racist and very politically charged videos that make people, or advertisers, not want to advertise on the website. Demonetization in mass droves of videos that literally have nothing wrong with them, but just because a shitty algorithm that's automated decided that your video needs to be demonetized. I mean, I could go on here. There's a million things wrong with YouTube because of automation, because they don't hire humans to review cases. And so, even though I don't think that automation would negatively affect me when it comes to my job of content creation, as no one's going to replace me.
Enough is enough. It's time that we all stand up and say, enough of this shit. We want YouTube to be a place with quality content, not this kind of shit. We want advertisements to be able to be divvied out to quality content creators, not fucking wastes of life. He's ruining the business and the website for everyone, and he does not deserve anyone's support. I know it's hilarious.
Here's the thing, though, as it pertains to ads being divvied out and quality content and this, that, and the third. Maybe, just maybe, if some of the lol cows actually produced quality content, maybe you would reap the benefits of doing so. Maybe if some of you guys weren't so insecure about what you do to where you're changing the format every week, as it seems like for some of these people, maybe, just maybe, people would just deal with it, and maybe they could grow to like it a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, if those same people, if some of these other people weren't trying to take other people's rice bowls from behind the scenes and whatnot and try to sit there and play like they didn't know what was going on, lying for an hour plus about the situation, then was dumb enough to show the report history, maybe these issues wouldn't come about. Just saying. You're a product, you're the result of your own making. Phil, in a lot of ways, is a shining example and could in some ways be one of the patient zeros for what's happening now. Back in the day, Phil was able to talk shit about people that he felt that were jealous of him, people who he didn't like, people who he felt like were screwing things up that didn't even affect him. He was able to go ahead and take his shots. but yet no one else can? That's not how that works. That's not how it works for you. That's not how it works for Cucumber Boy. That's not how it works for the mundane one. That's not how it works for any of y'all. And so y'all are going to eat everything that comes at y'all. Because at one time or another, all of y'all did wrong. And people called you out for it. And most of you were able to platform them. You know what I'm saying? Now it's open season. It's been open season for a while. The only situation is with some of these other guys is they didn't like the idea that people were eating off of them. But didn't you guys not eat off other people? Didn't some of you guys make videos about people dying, whether they were your friends or just random people in the news, and you had those monetized? I'm just saying. That's just what that's, you know. I'm just saying. Because you're sitting there mad because people talk shit about you. I don't know about you, but I had never put an ad on a video where someone died. Eating off someone else's death, especially someone who's close to you, who you claim was a friend. You explain that to me.
Is that I'm actually seeing people defending him. People are defending him. YouTube is saying we don't want people like Phil anymore.
See what I mean? I do think that automation could screw up a lot of the things that we deal with on a daily basis, right? So, I guess we'll see in the future, but for now, I'm not really too worried about automation at this point, okay? Last week, the Blackout Beta came out, and you guys know that for the last year, I've been delving into various Battle Royale games, including Fortnite, PUBG, and H1Z1, and every single game that I've played, I've won. It's not like, oh, Phil sucks at these games, he's terrible. I've actually
he does suck at those games. To be honest, Fortnite is laughable at best. At its peak, his fan base was pretty much begging him and throwing money at him to play Fortnite, and he wouldn't do it. PUBG and H1Z1 is something that I've coined as Axe the Pig without the stupid hat. That's all it was. Period. Did he win one? Did he actually win a round? I'm sure he has, to be honest. I'm sure he's won a few of them. But that's really all it was. It was some mindless idiot driving around in circles, terrible aim, terrible reflexes, and pretty much camped the win. Wings of Redemption style, if you will. That crispiest of wings. That's pretty much it. He can't really go hand to hand with anybody. He definitely can't. His gunplay is horrible because his reactions are bad. His reflexes are horrible. And I would say his eyesight's probably diminishing. He has no self-awareness. He has no situational awareness. That hurts you in a first-person shooter either which way, especially a Twitch shooter like Call of Duty, where reflexes are paramount. Or, if you don't have good reflexes, you have to have a strategy. Phil can't even spell that, let alone actually execute. I'm kidding. He might be able to spell it, but he definitely doesn't know how to execute. So, what can the man really bring to the table? Actually, you've been seeing some of his Call of Duty gameplay off here to the side. I think he's won one game out of the 2 hours. Oh, it hasn't actually been 2 hours yet. Out of the hour and 37 minutes that it's been going. And that's being generous. But he's won at least one game. He's not built for first-person shooters. Phil's not built for a lot of games. But in his eyes, being a variety streamer doesn't mean you have to be good at the game. Which is true, to an extent. But then you have to at least try. People read up on the controls. You know what I'm saying? They try to learn the game in some ways. Phil won't do it. The game is nothing more than a paycheck to him. And that's how he treats it. That's why after he gets paid, he doesn't mind dropping it and moving on to the next thing. At current, he might drop Tomb Raider if he can't get those videos monetized. There you go. And Tomb Raider's a long game. So of course he's going to quit it. That's what quitters do when stuff gets tough. They quit.
I could win matches in these games, alright? Not to say that I'm in love with them, but I've definitely delved into the fad that is Battle Royale, and I know a lot about it now. So then I played Blackout, and I was, like, blown away.
I don't kiss ass. You guys know that. I do not kiss ass. I am not an ass kisser. I'm not Mr. PG on stream.
I was like, this is actually good, because what they've done is they took the elements from these other companies that are, you know, made these kind of indie-style Battle Royale games, but they basically put shine and polish on it to the point where it's actually fun and playable. For example, in games like PUBG...
Let me jump in real quick. So, after myself and the guys here have played played the Call of Duty beta, Battlefield's garbage, so that is what that is on that. And it's not even garbage for... It's just the same old rehashed bullshit over there. It's just really bad. It's just they really didn't take any risk except for the aesthetics, and well, we all know what people think about that. As it pertains to Call of Duty Blackout, it's a better version of PUBG. That's it. Even though the looting is better in PUBG, or it's quicker anyway. The looting's, like I said, the looting's better, and that's pretty much it. Like, Blackout runs a little smoother when it's not crashing. And if it's crashing at 88 people, it's going to crash at 115 people or 120 people, whatever the number is going to be. And that leads to another interesting question: is Blackout going to be something they're going to have year in, year out? Or is it going to be something that will be, it'll get a chance to breathe, and it'll get a chance to grow for a couple years before they build another one? Because to be honest with you, the foundation isn't bad. It needs time to grow and kind of come into itself. Grow into itself, if you will. If they try to make battle royals each and every year out of typical Call of Duty bullshit, it's just gonna be generic, and it's gonna eventually fail. Most people are currently saying, it's okay. But they really would have appreciated if they put more time into the multiplayer. I agree to an extent, but Battle Royale is the craze right now. Eventually, it'll die out like anything else, but it's the craze right now. It's what people want. They did a decent job with it, given that it's only been like a year that they've had to develop it. There's still problems. There's a whole lot of problems, but it can be fixed if they're willing to put the time in to do so. But it's not perfect, and it's not worth necessarily kissing its ass about. But as Snort Burnell said, this isn't the first time Phil's kissed its ass. And the thing is, this is where most of you guys, if you guys have been following me for any period of time, you know what I'm going to say next. It's slow enough of a game that he can treat it kind of like PUBG. He's just going to have to camp a whole lot harder. But it's really no different than, it's going to be no different than PUBG. He's going to ride around for a while. He's going to find himself a house, and he's going to try to shack himself out there until the final circle comes up. And then hope that he can catch somebody slipping. But that's pretty much it. It's slow enough of a game that where it gives him a chance, if you will. Fortnite wasn't going to happen like that. He doesn't have gun skill, he doesn't understand trajectory, and he can't build a lick. He can't build to save his life. And this is coming from a man who had to call his parents to come cross country to fix his house, to paint his walls, to fix his toilet. That's what Dave required from his parents. That's what Phil needed his mommy and daddy to come do for him, because he couldn't do it for himself. And he wasn't willing to pay anybody else. So him being bad at video games kind of translates into real life for him. Just saying. DSP News.
On console, when you go into a firefight, the frame rate will dip dramatically to the point where it's incredibly hard to even keep track of who you're shooting at or what you're doing. And that's not what you want in a competitive game. You want a game that has a consistent frame rate during combat. Well, Call of Duty's Blackout mode does. At least on my PS4 Pro, it ran at pretty much a solid 50 to 60 frames per second at all times. And I was actually able to win firefights because the fucking thing didn't chop up and ruin the fire, right? I could aim. I could see what was going on. I'm just overall pretty good at all kinds of different games. I think I could take something like that World Cyber Games Ultimate Gamer. You want to know the truth? I'm probably one of the best overall gamers in the country. AES cheered and says, went back and watched some of your Hateful Truth reviews. Hopefully they'll come back one day. Great critiques. Yeah, you know, here's the thing, you know, and it's me being real, being honest with you guys. You know, YouTube has certainly changed over the years, and at one point, it was kind of like the Wild West, where you could basically go out there and do whatever you want, and people would watch it. You could do gameplay, raw gameplay, you could do edited gameplay, you could do a game review, you could do a skit, you could do a silly video of just reading people, you know, sending messages to your inbox on Xbox Live. Like, you could do whatever you want, and people would find it interesting and fun, and that was a really cool era for
He
me,
wasn't reading those just reading those people's messages. He was reading those people's messages on Xbox or the platform of choice, and then he was basically making fun of them. He was insulting them. That's what it was. It wasn't simply him reading the comments and they were having a chuckle. He was being an asshole about it.
Game, I could do whatever I wanted, right?
You are so pertinent, sir. I salute you for being the Mr. Outdated of the day.
But sadly, over the time, what happened was YouTube became oversaturated with content. YouTube became more about drama and negativity.
The Phil drama show every day.
I love
of
drama.
That drama shit.
I love it. I crave the drama.
And now what I find is that if I put out a negative video, if I put out a video that says, I'll give you an example. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the worst fucking game I've played in the last 10 years, and here's why. That video will get insane views. Insane views. Even if it's the stupidest video I've ever made and it's all bullshit, it will get crazy views. Because YouTube now is a website that focuses purely on negativity. There's no one going there.
Are you admitting that you lied on previous hateful truths just for views? I'm not saying that's what he's saying. I'm asking. I'm asking a question. And really, that's not necessarily what he's scared about. He's scared of, I should say, because of the platform that he's on, and because I would say it's going to be a long time until you see another sponsored stream out of Phil. It's going to be a whole lot of time's going to pass before that happens again. At least I would think. He doesn't want to alienate himself to any other developers, especially big game developers. Phil talks all this hot shit about getting advanced copies, review copies, so on and so forth. But if Phil could get himself in a position to do it, he would. He has. You know what I mean? He has. The thing is his name is spreading around so quickly that he can't keep track of it, and there are more, and now you're starting to have developers who want to just kind of walk away from him. They're going to be like, no, fuck you, pay us. But we're not giving you shit for free now. Not at all. And that right there is, yet again, a failure of Phil. He wasn't willing to clean up his mess, and he just let it sit there and he waited for someone else to do it. Next thing you know, when someone really wanted to give him an opportunity or give him a shot, they saw all the mess, and they were like, the fuck is this? Oh, well, hell no. And then they never did. And then they went away and never came back. Phil's words. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a name. And especially when you have a large number behind it. When it comes to like a sub count, I guess, if you will. Back in his day, that meant something. But this is what happens when you have a name. This is what happens when you have a brand. You have to take care of it. Because if not, and you don't address some of the issues, or if you don't at least clean some of that shit up, then you're screwed. And that's what Phil didn't do. He didn't want to clean any of it up. He just left it there. He called people idiots. He called this, that, and the third. And he antagonized people. And in some ways, and in a couple of different situations, he dared people to come after him. He dared people to say what they were going to say to him on YouTube and whatever, make videos about him. And they all came back to get him. It is what it is. This, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, is the consequence of being the realest guy on YouTube. At least the way Phil did it. DSP News.
For honest stuff anymore. They're going there for drama. They're going there for nasty shit. They just want to see, gossip, slander, defamation. It's become a toxic, vile place for people like that. And that's the people who watch the content and make the money, basically, for the content creators, because the ad revenue, right? And so that's all anyone does. You see that just stupid shit. So there was a time when I would do game reviews, and I would just title them The Hateful Truth Game Review. Boom, here's the game review. And it would get interesting. People would love it. They would say, Phil, you're so different from other game reviewers because you're independent, and you have an interesting frame of reference because you play so many damned video games in 1 year that you can compare the quality of one genre to another, the amount of content in one game to another, even if they aren't directly related games. And your reviews are some of the most honest on the internet, and we love them. And then it became, well, the only way that Phil can even get anyone to watch a review is if he's negative. And I don't want to do that. You know, I'm a guy who's honest.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
I'm a guy who is going to tell you it like it is. So there was that year, if you remember, guys, 2016, when I was doing KO Gaming, and it was a channel that I really wanted to have just highly edited.
But that wasn't his only shortcoming. It's not just the fact that the only way Phil can get views is if he's negative. But it's also, oh, well, Phil only can get views if he's playing a game the day it comes out. He has to play new releases because that's what he's known for. And more importantly, it's the only way to keep himself relevant in the algorithm. And on Twitch, to be honest with you. So he got himself caught up in that loop. KO Gaming's in a bit, we'll hear what he has to say first before I make my comments. But he screwed up on KO Gaming because, yet again, he wasn't willing to take responsibility for some of his past misdeeds. He wasn't willing to network with people. He wasn't willing to be a decent human being. He wasn't willing to think. You know what I mean? When you think about the concept of this is how you don't play, it's a gold mine. Well, it still is. It still is, because you got guys like Outsider who still does it, and they're great, by the way. You should definitely watch them. There's still guys who make great this is how you don't plays. But back in its heyday, that shit was a gold mine. You know what I mean? And Phil could have been it basically sprung up around him. He could have profited from it if he wasn't so damn sensitive and he was willing to share profits. But he wasn't willing to. So he calls it stealing content, but really they took shit and they turned it into something. They took dirt. Let's change that. They took dirt and turned it into a diamond. And by the time Phil started to realize, well, I need to get in on this, it was too late. And no one wanted the this is how you don't plays that his fans did, because it was just weak dick sucking. It was amateur at best, and it wasn't very good. This is how you don't play is supposed to be taking those really hard shots, and it's supposed to be funny and whatnot. Whereas these ones right here were just coddled. They were there to comfort Phil, and they didn't get any views. And then when Phil said stupid shit like, oh, I don't know why people don't like it. This was really good. This was great. People continue not to watch it. It is what it is. What he should have done is been like, okay, I'm going to put this video up and whatnot. He had to sell it. He had to sell it like, okay, we're doing this. This is how you don't play, but it's garbage, and I'm tired of people doing this shit. He was supposed to provide the hate for it, even though it's going on his channel. You know what I mean? It would show that, oh, okay, Phil's still a bitch, because he is a bitch, but at least he's willing, but he's willing to kind of put himself in a vulnerable situation for some views, because it's going to benefit him in the end anyway. You know what I mean? Sammy Samosa would have been able to explain that shit to him. I'm sure Brightside Viking would have too. You know what I mean? But Phil couldn't do that. Instead, he sat there and pre-screened all these different videos that were sent to him, 40 or 50, if not more, and he didn't even use half of them because he was too damn lazy, when all he had to do was throw his intro on it and then put it up. This is after he himself didn't want to do edited content anymore. He somehow conned these kids to do it for him, and he still didn't use it. Amazing.
Quality content, and it went well. Like, I had a video that had 1 million views or whatever, but the videos that got views were the negative videos only. Like, I'm telling you, that video that got 1 million views, negative. All my coverage of No Man's Sky at launch, negative, right? All the videos that I made were negative, got tons of views, and made me money. Anything that I did that was positive basically got shuffled under the rug and no one cared about or watched. All right.
Now, do you see what I was trying to say when I was talking about Keemstar earlier, and about the whole thing about he wants to be loved, he wants to be respected, he wants to be... You can't have all that. He's let that go along. He's let it go on too long. Like with Drama Alert and with Keemstar, he's savvy enough as a businessman, and he still was in a decent enough position to turn that shit around. There's still a lot of people who don't like Keemstar, but they watch his content and they at least respect him. You know what I'm saying? Phil doesn't even have that. He has people who watches his content because they want to see the train wreck. You know what I mean? But in truth, no one respects him. You know what I mean? Everybody hates him. I mean, shit, he hates himself. And I really want you guys to think about that. The next video that you see on him, where he's sitting down playing a video game, or he's interacting with his chat. Or when he gets into a vulnerable situation where he starts to talk about himself and some of his regrets. Listen to it. It sounds like a man who hates himself. He's grown to hate himself. The mythos of being the greatest gamer out here and being at the beginning of all this shit, and people, it was everybody else's fault, not his fault, on all of his failures. It disappears when he has these vulnerable type of moments. And it's really a sign, it's a moment, I should say, a moment of self-reflection, where he really sits there and thinks about it, and he's like, I really fucked up. And I really just wanted to stop. He would give anything for it to stop. I promise you he would. He would give up almost anything to make it stop. But he can't. So he has to insult instead. And he knows that doesn't help him. But it's his only way of reacting. It's the only way he can lash out. Yet again, boxing himself in, just like he's doing on Twitch. So when Twitch goes bad, where else is he going to go? He's going to come right back to Galtopia. He's going to come right back into that Coliseum. And guess who's going to be waiting for him? What else can he do? What else is he willing to do?
And that's the stupid part about YouTube. I just hate that, right? And it came to the point, of course, then last year in 2017, we had the whole demonetization saga.
Where basically any edited video that I put out on KO Gaming would immediately become demonetized. And I had enough. I was like, I'm doing all this work, making these edited style videos. Sometimes what I would do is I would take 2-3 nights not doing streaming in order to edit a video. I'm going to be real honest with everyone. Just making an edited YouTube video is very easy. Doing live improv reactionary commentary is tough. The hard shit is sitting here playing the raw games. That's the hard part. Streaming is way harder than just editing videos for YouTube. Okay? It is. Real talk.
I would put it out, and the video would get only a few thousand views because it was a
But
positive
here's
video.
the thing. The reason why he thinks it's harder, because he has to look for something to talk about. He doesn't read anything. He doesn't immerse himself into anything, but he doesn't even really immerse himself into the video games. He doesn't do anything. He's pretty limited on what he can do. And this is by his own design. His hands aren't put on backwards. He's not blind. He's not, mentally stupid. He just won't do anything to expand himself. He just won't. Because that's more effort on his end. So when he has people in his comment section that try to have a conversation about something and he's not familiar with it, he immediately throws shade at it. And he immediately dislikes it. But he has to do it in such a way to where he's not, I wouldn't say encroaching on their free speech because it's not that serious. But he needs to be the center of that conversation in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Even if the conversation isn't spotlighting him per se, it has to be something that he can contribute to and then bullshit his way through the rest of it. But it just shows how limited he is. It shows how frail he is to some extent. You're at home all day. And though it's fair to say he probably gets the majority of his news on Twitter, he just goes to the same couple people and that's it. He's not branching out to see what other people are saying, getting another perspective. He sticks to what he's comfortable with, which is one of the worst things you could do.
Would be demonetized anyway. And I was like, well, I can't survive like this anymore. I can't. I have to basically survive. And how am I going to survive? And what I saw, quite frankly, was that streaming, doing daily live gameplay streams, interacting with you guys during these streams, this is what was keeping people entertained. I was seeing exponential growth on Twitch.
I'm good at lying.
While I was seeing stagnation on YouTube. And I was like, well, what's the point then? What is the point of me continuing to put so much time and effort into stuff on YouTube if YouTube, number one, isn't going to feature my content because it's not all negative. Number two, they're going to demonetize anything that I actually put time and effort into. And number three, I hate to say it, YouTube has become a toxic, vile community anyway. I mean, I disabled my comments a year ago. Actually, guys, it's been 1 year now since Dspgaming has had no comments enabled because I just couldn't put up with it. It was just disgusting shit to the point where the comments on my videos were actually becoming a detriment, and people who were actually longtime fans were telling me, Phil, please disable comments. We can't even take it anymore. Every time I click on your video, I look down. It's the most vile, disgusting stuff. It's insane that YouTube even allows this shit, but they do. Okay?
Silver
That's not true.
talker.
That's not the real reason why he got rid of the comment section. He got rid of the comment section because, one, he was getting called out for making comments disappear. He was either outright erasing them or he was shadow banning people, and he kept getting called out in videos. Two, he was getting really, really pissed off that a lot of comments from his comment section were ending up in detractor videos. Here's the funny part, though, about that. For a man who does not indulge, that's what it is, indulge himself in detractor videos, how would he know about all that? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that you guys would be like, oh, come on, GTG, you know his little piggy pie pipers were the ones who sat there and did it. And trust me, I really enjoy some barbecue pig tips too every once in a while. Can't eat a lot of it though, but you know, I enjoy it every once in a while. But when he's pointing out comments in particular in pre-streams, he's not saying the person's name, but he's actually almost reading the comment out word for word that was in, oh, I don't know, a Snort Burnell video, for example. You know what I mean? Or he may have seen it in a Mr. Huffstuff's video, for example. Or he saw in like a Volt Boy video, for example. It would lead one to believe that he actually watched the video himself. And he's admitted that people send him videos, which means that he must have watched some of them. That's why he couldn't take the comment section. He couldn't stand that his source material was being taken, but then they were using his comment section against him too.
Right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
So, all that being said, I know I haven't done any formal reviews in a while. Now, there's multiple reasons for that. Number one,
Laziness.
Number two, it's because since I'm now streaming so much, and streaming is basically my bread and butter, it's what pays the bills, me doing an edited style review would take time away from streaming, which means money out of my pockets. And I know if I put out a review that makes 5,000 views, that's not going to even make nearly anywhere as much money as if I just done a 2 to 4 hour stream, right? So that's why I'm not really too concerned about it. Now, if I finish a new release, and I just happen to have some extra time, okay, then on that stream, I'll on the fly do a review. You know, Spider-Man, I'm going to finish that tomorrow night. If I finish it in 90 minutes and I have 20, 30 extra minutes, I'll do a verbal spoken word review at the end of the stream so that people know my thoughts on the game, okay? I am not going to take time out away from doing productive streams and streaming, which is what you guys are here for, right? And that's what I'm good at.
False. Wrong. Incorrect. Negative. No.
He's good at falling asleep through them.
Hey, absolutely not. Fuck that, Phil. You are a dirty, rotten liar.
In order to do a review that is not going to benefit anything, you know? I'm just being honest. If you want to know my true thoughts about a game, watch the playthroughs, or a lot of the times when the credits are rolling, I'll give you a summary of what I thought about that game. Those are the opportunities that you can take to find out my thoughts. You don't need to watch a formal review outside of that to know what I think about a game. You know, the hateful truth reviews will probably never come back. You know, if you want to know my opinion on a game, you got to watch the playthrough streams or the playthroughs on YouTube afterward. And if I have a chance to give my thoughts in the credits or do an on-the-fly review at the end of the game, great. Outside of that, you know, that's just how it goes.
Wow.
Tutankhamun has tipped me $99.
For me, thank God. Thank you. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you. Really, thank you. If I could get down on my hands and knees and say thank you and still be on camera, I would do it. Okay? I seriously would do it.
Now,
Then again,
I want you guys to just listen and actually see what you just saw. Him basically walloping on his belly in the mud for some money. Jesus Christ, even a stripper has more dignity than that. That was sad. Like, I remember watching that, and then I remember watching the playback later on maybe Tevin's stream or Argent's, probably both, because I know I watched both of them. And I remember how sickening it was seeing him do that. Like, I remember thinking, isn't this the same asshole who used to shit on other people for doing the exact same thing he's doing right now? And now look at him. It's like that. It's like the prettiest girl in high school, for example, who, oh, I'll never reduce myself to doing such and such, such and such. Then they go to college, and college didn't work out well. And next thing you know, you end up catching her in a movie one night, and you're like, oh shit, I know that chick. It's like that. It's one of those situations. You know what I mean? Like that one chick who said she was never going to do porn or something, and then come to find out later she ends up doing it. It's like that. And I've always been one to say that you should never say, you're never going to participate in something, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody falls on hard times, this, that, and the third. But Phil has made it his business to do that. To shit on other people who did things. Because they were in a situation where either they just needed the extra help, or it was another avenue for something else, this, that, and the third. But Phil couldn't see that. Phil could only see the short term, so he bashed it, as he usually does. But then in the long term, he's doing it himself, but he doesn't want to hear anybody's feedback on it when he has to do it, because he, quote unquote, has to do it to save the business. Well, didn't those other people have businesses? Didn't those other people have responsibilities and obligations? But you shitted on them without any recourse. But you're the exception to the rules. I got you. DSP News.
This seems to have an extra N. See, here's the thing, guys. I'm very skeptical about these tips, and the reason I am is because, number one, I don't think Tutankhamun is here in the stream chat. And a few weeks ago, we had someone who was impersonating Tutankhamun and basically doing fake tips in his name, and then they charged back all those tips. But
now let me stop that for just a second. First things first. His dependency on Tutankhamun is going to be it'll be one of the pillars to his downfall eventually, unless Swaggins really steps his shit up. Secondly, all those tips that came off that chargeback or chargebacks, I thought the person who did that was using the name Anonymous when he was doing it. And if I remember correctly, wasn't Swaggins one of the people leading the charge against King Tut, saying that, oh, well, how do we know it wasn't him? How do we know he wasn't the one doing it under another name? And Phil even called him out in a pre-stream. And then he ended up retracting it a couple days later because he's a bitch. Can't stand on his word for nothing. So, yet again, it's funny to see him say, oh, I got all this paranoia about all of these, about all of these donations and so on and so forth, that he has to verify it in real time, which is what he does anyway. But he himself has instilled he instilled his own doubt and paranoia into himself. He let Swaggins and the rest of those guys do the same thing too. And if I remember correctly, King Tut had nothing to do with any of that. Those chargebacks. If I'm not mistaken, didn't he give up like $2,000+ worth of shit only a day or two before? So why would you charge back another $450? I can't remember exactly how much that chargeback was. Why would he even bother? You see what I'm saying? Like, if he was gonna undercut other people, there would have been better ways of doing it. But yet again, this goes back to something that I said earlier on in this broadcast about people taking advantage of Phil. He puts himself in position to be taken advantage of. And so people do it. It's a very harsh aspect of the human condition, of human nature in a lot of ways. But he's weak. And I mean that when I say it. He is weak. But he runs around like he's strong and he's superior. So for some people, it's only in their mindset to be like, well, let's go ahead and play with him for a little bit. Let's see how superior he really is. And it just happens to be, when those times come about, Phil's at his lowest. Whether you think it's ethical or not to be doing those things to Phil, that's up to you. At the end of the day, though, they will continue to happen. It's just the nature of the beast. When you don't know how to treat people, then people won't treat you well either. When you disrespect people, people will disrespect you back. When you take advantage of people, people will eventually figure out a way to take advantage of you. He's used most people in his life to make a buck or to make things convenient for himself. Why wouldn't a smarter individual do it to him? Why wouldn't that happen?
You know what? Trying to see if this is the same guy or not. I think it is. I think it's legit. It's tough to tell. Honestly, it is. But let's go ahead and get him up on the leaderboard. Right? That... Oh, okay, Tutankhamun says that was really him. Thank you, Tutankhamun. I appreciate that. Yeah, again, I get nervous because that asshole who impersonated you really pissed me off a few weeks ago. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now. Really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more.
So, King Tut donates. You're skeptical if it's really King Tut who donated. Then King Tut says, "Oh, I did it," and then you just take his word on it, just off the muscle, instead of continuing to verify it? Or is it that you couldn't verify it and you had no choice but to try to stay face and take him at face value? Because you know he's going to gift more subs and do other things later on that stream. And you didn't want to risk it. Okay.
This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. But now I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too. So fucking greedy.
Earlier today, I played Shadow of the Tomb Raider. 4 more hours of advancement in that game. And the game now says I'm about a third through it. Okay? From what I've seen, the game pretty much is incredibly combat light compared to the previous outings. And it's more about exploration and tomb raiding in particular. I uploaded all those videos to YouTube, and guess what happened?
Yeah, now, he said they got blacklisted. I couldn't tell you why. I mean, the death scenes are, like all the new Tomb Raider games, the death scenes are kind of graphic. So, and if you're someone who is a proprietor of failure and of dying a lot in games, the automated system might have picked some of that up and been like, well, there's like 10 or 11 graphic scenes in this. That might be a bit much. Yeah. So there you go. So that's kind of a failure on the gameplay standpoint, being that Phil won't learn how to play the game. He's just kind of rushing. He's kind of just, dragging himself along. He died a bunch of times. The deaths are kind of graphic. Excuse me. Yet rather entertaining at some moments. It's amazing how they keep setting it up on how you can meet your own demise. And the system picked up all that blood and vial and all that, and they were like, well, we probably can't let that go. And so there you go. Yet again, if Phil would take just a little bit of time to learn the system, take a little bit of time to read the instructions that are on screen that tells him how to do stuff, it might not be so bad. Oh boy.
YouTube demonetized them all. Now, this is an anomaly because when I uploaded the game on Premiere Day last Friday, they did not demonetize any videos.
They haven't demonetized any videos recently of anything I've done. Everything else that I've been uploading. Spider-Man, Dragon Quest, the Blackout Beta last week. Even the pre-stream from today, they did not demonetize. They only demonetized the 6 gameplay videos of Shadow of the Tomb Raider that I uploaded to YouTube. So what this makes me believe is that YouTube is now blacklisting the game. I've seen this before with other games, for example, The Evil Within, as well as other survival horror games where they know there's a lot of gore. I've seen YouTube completely demonetize them before. So, It kind of sucks, because I know Shadow of the Tomb Raider, from all the reports, is supposed to be a pretty long game. You know, upwards of anywhere, you know, from 20 to 30 hours, depending on the pace you play and if you do all the side content or not. You know, I'm a third in, and it was 8 hours. So you probably figure, you know, another 3-4 streams of the game to finish it. And it looks like I may not be able to monetize any of the videos on YouTube, which sucks. But I guess that's life. My new TV is pretty nice. Has a lot of, like just really cool features. It very quickly can zoom in and change modes and do stuff. My other TV used to be a pain in the ass. You had to go through a ton of menus and shit. My new TV, this TCL, is good. I recommend this TCL. It's really good. The response time is better than my old TV. It's easy to navigate the menus. The controller's useful. I like this TV.
$300 on Amazon. It was a good fucking purchase, man. Tobias Alexander says a woman who had a blackout in Connecticut lit a candle to see in the dark, but it was actually dynamite. Damn.
What the fuck? Why'd she have dynamite in her house? Who the hell has dynamite in these days?
She might not have known it was dynamite. Could have been an ex-husband, could have been a grandfather, could have been anything. But what the fuck is funny about that? Seriously, what is funny about that? And see, that's another thing too, right? So, like, when Phil does... I mean, that's not Phil's first time doing that shit. But for Phil, as long as the pain doesn't happen to him, he feels that he can laugh at it. And that's one of the reasons why I can't be sympathetic to him. Because any person who's willing to laugh at another individual's pain, especially something like that, like Phil doing something stupid on pre-stream, like, and we laugh about it, is one thing. But if Phil was in a car accident tomorrow, would I report on it? Sure. Would I laugh at him? No. Because who knows how hurt he is? Who knows how hurt Cat is? Who knows how hurt the other individuals that are involved in the crash are? I just don't want to... I don't need that on my conscience. I don't need that... You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need that. Like, I'm going to go to hell anyway. But I don't need all of that extra when I get there. I already have a throne to claim, and I'll take that when I'm ready. But I don't need to sit there and laugh at another person's misfortune, if you will, to make myself feel better. And you can't justify that chuckle. There's nothing funny about that. You know what I'm saying? You really can't. But that's what Phil does. He's always done that. He's always done that. And it's little things like this, well, that's not little, but it's things like that that people seem to disregard, or they want to give him a pass on. And the thing is, especially in certain circles, if it had happened to you guys and Dave had found out, he'd have laughed at that shit all day and wouldn't have given 2 fucks in a shit about it. Think about that the next time you want to give him some sympathy. He can't empathize with anything and anybody. He's proven that. Most of you who have been around long enough know that. I'm not saying that those are grounds to hate him, but I can also understand why people do hate him. He's one of them. He's a pretty vile example of a human being. He really is, with very little, if any, redeeming qualities. You know, not everybody, maybe not everybody sees it. Maybe not everybody wants to see it. But that doesn't mean it's not there. Dspgaming.
Who has dynamite? What on earth? Well, that was bad luck for her, huh?
Welcome to the Dab side. Cheered and asking he has a free sub. No, I have nothing to do with it. That's 100% a lie. If people want to give subs, you know, that's up to you guys. I have nothing to do with it. I don't have the ability to give out free subs. I'm sorry, I don't.
Your mate Crazy update on DSP Tries It. I assume he's talking about the DSP Tries It. That was the random reward for August, even though I never set it up as a reward goal, but we hit it anyway.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
No, there's no update, because I want to do something good. I want to find something that I can do that'll be funny and interesting for DSP Tries It. I have not seen a damned thing recently. Then again, I haven't been to a store really that has that kind of stuff. I was at, two weeks ago, I was at Bed Bath & Beyond, and they have a whole, like, as seen on TV section. And I had an idea for an item, and I was like, I don't think that's going to be so good. I'm just saving it, you know? There's no rush. There was no commitment that when I would complete this anyway, And quite frankly, no one subbed to see that happen anyway. So it's just a
So
random
basically
fun
what
thing
he's
that I'll
saying
mention.
is, thanks for the money, dummies. I'm running off on the plug. Fuck y'all. Don't bring it up to me because I had no reason to commit to it anyway. That's basically what he's telling them. So back to my previous point. He doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. And he took those kids' money and he ran with it. Or he's running with it, I should say. And he doesn't really want to hear any word about it. And his justification on why is kind of just petty, to be honest. When has any of his DSP tries it's been good? So do a random one so at least you're fulfilling your obligation and just put it out there. It is what it is. It's going to be half-ass anyway. It's going to be dumb anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? Just pick something quirky and stupid, put it out there, and then get it over with, instead of hanging it over these kids' heads. Or, what you're probably going to end up doing anyway, is convincing them to contribute to your Patreon so you can get paid twice off of it. And then put the YouTube video out and get paid 3 times off of it, even though it's not going to be much. Or he'll do it live on stream and then put it on YouTube. So he's going to get paid 4 times for it.
Do, you know, no pressure, no rush, no pressure.
How's the gout, Phil?
Oh my god, here's
Focus
another
on
one.
playing
How's the gout,
Phil?
Phil? Another idiot. This is
How's
great.
that gout?
How's that gout? Who was it? Hold on, now I have to freaking manually mute
How's
everyone.
that Seattle Air, Phil?
Yes, I want to play a game, yes.
Alright, you will. Don't worry, you will. I just gotta find out who this idiot is now. Say it again. No, say it again. Say, how's that gout? Go ahead.
How's that Seattle Air?
Come on, say it again. I mean, you're so dumb, I know you'll say it again. Say it. Say, how's that gout? Come on.
So with the gout, how's your daughter? What's the gout?
He's still saying it. How's the gout? How's the gout? How's the gout? Oh, parent, how's the gout? Give me a cracker. Wow. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
Alright, so I guess we'll end it on that. It's been a while since I've been back in the mix. So this right here, I guess was a pretty good introduction. Still working on my episode of Gout and Wine. There's like 2 more videos that I still need to find for it. Check out Mighty D, who has started back up his DSP archives and whatnot. Great watches. Please check that out. Also, check out Almighty Tevin's Going Back in Time. He just started that back up. I think there's 2 episodes out so far. So please, by all means, check that out. The link will also be in the description for the DIA, I believe. Yeah, for the DIA video. I think it's a great video personally. The people that I've sent it to seem to like it. So by all means, that link will be in the description. Please check that out. So like I said, it's a brand new channel. If you like it, like I said, episode 2 should be out soon. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you to everybody for kind of giving me a chance and kind of slushing through this. I'm a little bit out of practice, but I'm sure over the next couple of videos we can make the difference up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. As you guys should already know this. It's a GTG Network in Productions. I'm your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. End the broadcast.
You talk like a radical, but you live like a rich guy.
It's the perfect combination. The radical may fight the purity of Jesus, but the rich guy wins with the cunning of Satan.